Guys, I'm gonna build a tunnel system from that base over there through here and over to that base there. It's gonna be a pretty good distance, but I don't think it's gonna be too much of a problem. I wanted to do this at night so you can see the distance. It's pretty hard to see during the daytime, so I'm gonna stay at the spot, and when the sun flips back up, so you can get a better idea of distance. So forgive me for doing this at night. So I think what we're going to do on this is, on this particular thing, since it's sort of like a column hill instead of like a slowly receding hill, is we'll just spiral that one down until I get down to a depth where I can pretty much maintain that same depth over to this one. And I'm afraid that one too, since it's up on a sort of like a pillar as well, that one's going to have to spiral up and down. It's not going to be a problem. I know it's a pretty good distance, but I'm confident that the booster system that I have is going to produce enough power to get over there okay. The only thing I'm going to need to worry about is whenever the tunnel system turns, to make sure that my cart doesn't have any speed scrubbed off of it whenever it turns or anything like that. So that's my main concerns. Okay, with the sun coming up now, the thing that I'm concerned about in making this base is the low points. Since I'm going to keep this track from undulating too much, I want to keep it consistent at depth. So what I need to do is decide on a track first, and then find the low points. And once I find the low points, then I can determine what depth I want that tunnel to be in. So I'm gonna first decide on a track here, and then we'll find the low points, and then we'll go from there. So okay, what I've done is set these blocks down with torches on them on the path that I want to go on. Okay, there and there, and then that's going to be my turn there. I'm going to come through here, back up here, and then go up, spiral up on this side of the base as opposed to this side of the base. So one of the things I want to talk about is connecting this tunnel together. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig down on this mini base down to my travel depth. Right? And then on that base over there, I'm going to do the same thing. And let's see if this is going to make any sense. It's easier, I feel, that if you dig both bases down to a travel depth and merge them together underground, it's easier to do that than it is to spiral down to a travel depth, dig it all the way out through here and underneath this base, and try to spiral it up and meet the booster. I think it's much harder to do that. So I hope that made sense. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. First find my, since I've decided on a path, I want to first find my travel depth, since I found the path, like I said, and then dig this one down to that depth, dig that base down to its depth, and then merge them together along this path once I figure out what travel depth I want to go with. So I hope that made sense. So anyway, I'll do that. Alright, now that I found the low point, which is over there, what I like to do is put a 3-block buffer in between the top of the tunnel and the low point. So that buffer I like to leave in there just in case a creeper blows something up. If I keep it down a reasonable depth, it shouldn't affect my tunnel too much. So what I like to do is cut the middle section first, just a reasonable distance away from the spiraling section, so it gives me a little bit of fudge room to connect the spiraling section down to the mid tunnel down through here. And the same with this one over here. I'm going to stop it if I can not fall in that hole. Let's see. Cut it all the way through here and probably stop right around in, say right around in this area. And then once I stop here, I'll cut that spiraling section down, and then it gives me a little bit of fudge room to connect it into here. So now I cut the middle section. Alright, let me orientate the video here a little bit. That's the base over there that we're coming from, and that's the base there that we're going from or coming to. And then the tunnel is going to be all through here, turn here, and go up that way. Alright, one of the things that I talked about in one of my other videos was judging elevation. So I really don't have a good way of judging elevation without counting blocks. So I just kind of have to count blocks. When it comes to distance, what I don't want to do is count blocks if I don't have to. So one of the tactics that I use is to put a column of cobblestone down along my path, and this is the reason why I needed to know my travel depth, is so I know how deep to make this column. So I put a column of cobblestone where my turn is at, okay, down to at least my travel depth, so that way I can cut along this path, and I know that I need to turn whenever I run into cobblestone, as opposed to counting 173 blocks and saying, oh yeah, by the way, I need to turn left on my 173rd block. So I think it's a little easier for me that way when I do that, kind of a little shortcut. So what I'll do is I'll put those cobblestone pillars on all my turns, now that I know my travel depth and I know my travel path for cutting this midsection here. So, okay, up on the base now, the connecting bases over there. That's my column of cobblestone that I'm going to marry up to. Just kind of orientate this real quick. And I'll talk about this spiraling section here. Just make sure that whenever you spiral this thing down, I've got 31 blocks from this spot here down to my travel elevation. So what I'm going to do is go down 6 blocks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll go 6 in this direction. That's the direction of my travel path. I'm going to go 6 this way, 6 this way, be 12, 6 this way, it'll be 18, 6 this way, be 24, and then 6 this way, back the direction that I want to go, down to 30. And that'll get me the rest of the way to 31. So, talking about this section here, whenever you make your turns, just make sure you leave this landing 3 blocks so this track here can flatten out a little bit before it makes its turn. And then this one here, this one can be 2. That can be 2. This landing here, then you can start to decelerate again. So I'll talk about that real quick. And then again, just make sure you knock out your corners so you don't scrub off your speed. Okay, in the base again at the tunnel entrance, just wanted to show this real quick, how it's finished. I'm going to show this side and not the other, so in fact I need to knock out these corners here. I didn't do that. Shame on me. You should knock out these corners. Very important. These corners will scrub off your speed. Okay. 3 in all directions. Just like there. Last turn here. And then this was another, what was that? I think that was 24. And then 6, it was another 7 drops. So, marries up to the tunnel pretty good. So I'm going to cut the other side now and finish this video up. So, hey guys, at that base now, finish the track. So we're going to go take a ride on this sucker. On this particular one here, this base is more of a rectangle than it is a square, so I went 8 down this way, 4 this way, 4 back this way, and then 8 to my drop. So we're going to take a ride on this guy and see how it all works out. Make sure I got the track turned. It is. Oh, do that very well. Alright, here we go. This is the first ride. I haven't even tested this yet, but I got a lot of faith that it's going to work out pretty good. These rail systems served me pretty good. Oh, I ran into some caverns, so I just glassed that off just to kind of give it some scenery as you drive by. These rail systems served me pretty well. It's a nice way to get around at night and stuff, so that's why I build these like this. Got that little outcropping there, so. And now here comes the ascension into the other base. So this worked out pretty good. Lots of power with this booster. Turn, turn, and no problem. Anyway, hope you guys liked the video. If there's anything else I can help you out with building these things, just let me know. Anyway, take care.